Hello everybody, my name is Leo, and as many of you has requested, with this video we will share a direct comparison between the Boss GT1000 and the G300. As always, we will start with the demo song, then we will compare the features of the two units with a very detailed comparison chart. We will then hear more clearly the sounds of the two units in a specific section of this video, and finally, as usual, I will give you my 2 cents. So I hope you enjoy, and please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, it would be of a great help. Let's start! Once more, my name is Leo, and this video follows the other video comparisons I did about the modelling pedalboards, like for instance the G250 versus the 8 Ampero, the G250 versus the HX Stomp, the GT1000 versus the Line 6 Helix, and also a direct video comparisons about the G250 versus the 8 Ampero versus the HX Stomp versus the headrush board versus a real Marshall JCM 800. You can find the links to this video in the description below. If you have already seen these videos, you can skip this section and jump at the comparison chart at this time here. So the arguments we will discuss together in this video are: in the demo song we have already heard the two units in action, then with the help of a comparison chart that I've done, we will discuss the technical differences between the two pedalboards in terms, for instance, of in, out, sampling frequency, and so on and so forth. So I mean, all the technical stuff where maybe there is that extra feature hidden that is indispensable for you. Then we will better listen to the sound differences that you may have already heard in the demo song. You know, it would be impossible to check all the amp models one against the other, so I prefer to choose just some specific option and combination of amps, cabs and effects to verify if there are some specific differences that could address our evaluation. I went for a Fender Deluxe Reverb for the clean sounds and a Marshall Plexi for the overdriven ones, using or disabling some effects but always trying to use the same settings for both the unit. I mean, same equalization, same types of cab, etc. Finally, I will give you my 2 cents. So let's now share the comparison chart. We will now check the differences between the two units among the following parameters: number of amps, cabs and microphones built in, number of banks, patches and presets, number of effects, MIDI possibilities, audio input and outputs, full switches and expression pedals, screen size, looper capabilities, ADA conversion and USB channels available, possibility to use third-party IR, special features, current power, dimension, weight and price. First of all, we have 23 amps and cabs plus 12 standalone cabs and 5 mix built in the GT1000, while the G300 offers 108 amps and 43 cabs and 21 mix with early reflection. It is worth noticing that the so-called ARD amplifier design philosophy of the Boss put an emphasis on accurately recreating the interaction between a total amplifier setup, amp plus speaker session. As such, each amp model is recreated with its ideal speaker combination. That's why here I'm writing 23 amps and cab plus 12 more cabs, because the 23 amps and cabs have been captured together with the ARD Boss technology. Nevertheless, I would give a thumbs up to the G300 as it offers also more options like the early reflection parameter that is possible to set in the G and is not present in the Boss, at least as far as I know. And this parameter adds a bit more realism to the cab simulation of the G300. Furthermore, the Boss has two sets of 50 banks, each of 5 patches, with a total amount of 500 patches, 250 for the user and 250 built-in. The G, on the other hand, has 64 banks, each of 4 patches, with a total amount of 256 presets. As regards effects, the Boss has more than 160 effects. I'm saying more because each firmware release has added more effects to the original ones, while the G has 164 effects. For both of them you can use many effects simultaneously. I would say that the limit is your imagination and well the DSP power. In this case, I would give a thumbs up to both of them as they offer a lot of effects. As regards MIDI, they are on pair. They both have MIDI in and MIDI out ports. Then we have almost the same possibility as regards inputs and outputs, with a mono instrument input, a stereo output, both balanced and unbalanced, 2 in and out for external effects, and finally an headphone out. The GE has an aux in that the Boss does not have, but honestly I would not give a thumbs down to the Boss because it's missing the aux in. Let me know your opinion in the comment below. As regards full switches, the Boss has 10 full switches and a built-in expression pedal like the G300. The Boss has one more input for external switches or expression pedal and an amp controller out, so I would give a thumbs up to the G1000. As regards the screen, the G is far superior in my opinion. The GT has a 19-second looper while the G has a 30-minute looper, so the G is better. Here I'm also showing you the controls of the two units, and in my channel I also done a video about the GT1000 looper that you can find in the card above. As regards ADA conversion and USB capabilities, the Boss is better, with its 32-bit converters at 96 kHz. Furthermore, the Boss offers a 6-in, 6-out USB audio interface, while the G300 has only 2-in and 2-out USB channels. Basically, with the Boss you can record the amp sound in one track of your DAW and the effects in another stereo track, and you can decide the amount of effects while mixing. So, in my opinion, the Boss is far superior. They both offers the possibility to load third-party IRs, but the G has more slots to load them, 20 against 4. As regards special features, I would mention the Bluetooth capabilities of the GT1000, with which you can edit your effect chain with your tablet, for instance, and I would say that it is pretty handy and nice. While among the G special features, I would mention the tone capture and the synth sound. So here, in my opinion, they are on pair, as the possibility to connect the GT1000 to the tablet is really a nice feature to set parameters on the go. Then we have the power needs, where the GT needs 9 volt at 1200 mAh, while the G requires 3000 mAh at 9 volts, so I would give a thumbs down to both of them, as it is difficult to use our normal pedal power adapters. As regards the weight and dimensions, the G is smaller and lighter, and finally the price is lower for the G, with the price of the Boss that has increased in the last month. So finally, let's count the green and red thumbs. We have 7 green thumbs for the Boss with 7 red, and 10 greens for the G300 with 4 reds. So I would say that the G300 is a little bit better. Obviously, this is just a technical comparison, without considering that each feature could have a different importance for you, and so for instance you can consider the Boss better just because it has the Bluetooth options. But if you just algebraically sum the features according to my comparison chart, the GE is better. One more consideration here is that it seems that Boss has invested more in the chips for the ADA conversion and for the audio interface, that is superior in the Boss, while MOOER has invested in software features like the tone capture. So, final considerations here. Well, actually these are among my favorite piece of gear of all time. And my opinion could also be biased as I own the GT1000 since almost a year and Boss effects since many years, so I'm much more used to their sound. As it is quite difficult for me to choose one unit against the other, I would focus on the pro of each unit, I mean the features that are really important for me. Of course, this is gonna be my personal opinion for my specific use cases, and you may not agree with me, and this is totally fine. As I said, I grew up using Boss effects like reverb, delay, and choruses. And I have to say that having all these Boss effects in the GT1000 package is really a pro. The second pro of the GT1000 is the Bluetooth connectivity and the possibility to control it via an app with your tablet, without the need of a computer. The third pro of the GT1000 versus the G300, and maybe the most important one for me, is the higher ADA conversion rate and the possibility to have more USB channels available. In fact, with the G300 you have only 2 in USB channels and 2 out USB channels, and therefore you cannot, for instance, record 3 tracks in your digital audio workstation at the same time, one with the sound of the amp and the other 2 with the stereo effects, so that you can decide the amount of effects while mixing. In fact, this is possible with the Boss GT1000 and not with the G300. On the other hand, the G300 has, first of all, the tone capture feature. I've done a video about the tone capture feature of the G250 that you can find in a card above or in the link below, and I have to say that you can obtain pretty good result. Then I would mention the guitar synth built in the G300 that is really good and effective. Lastly, I would say that the cap simulation of the G300 is easier to manage and to tweak in comparison with the one of the GT1000. And actually the G300 offers more features compared to the GT1000 as regards the cap simulation. For instance, you can also tweak the early reflection, so actually you can place the amp in a room, and these features add a touch of realism to your sound. These are the strongest selling points in my opinion and for my use cases, for each of the two units. And I'm really curious to hear from you your opinions. What are the most important selling points for you, and which unit would you buy? The Boss GT1000 or the G300? Is the GT1000 worth the extra money? Is the sound difference between these two units a key deciding factor for you? Please let me know in a comment below. Actually, I'm receiving a lot of comments in these type of videos, and I think they can all help us to choose the right unit according to our needs. We have now reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did it, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell and leave a thumbs up. It would be of a great help. And of course, you won't miss any of my future videos. In fact, I have a lot of ideas for new content I would like to share with you, and also some very nice amps that are coming in my studio to compare them against these amp modelers, like a Mesa Boogie Lone Star and a Fender Deluxe Reverb. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you're interested in my music, you can check out a playlist of songs of mine in the description below, where there is also a link to the streaming services distributor that I use, that is DistroKid. If you use that link, you will have a discount and I will earn some money, so you're gonna actually help the channel. Thank you in advance. See you in the next video. Bye bye.